They can search as released the new FAQ for Age of Sigmar 4th edition Skaventide the 29 October 2025. Remember that I'll bring up only about the update parts. If you want to test about the previous FAQ, you can see the link in the description about what I said before so that I don't have to repeat each time. And this one you have to pay attention because we see that there has been a update about the various factions, so the Illuminati Lord, the Total Arcane, and the Sivanet, but each of these will find them anyway in the part about the rules update, so not a problem. It's only to have them clear so that you can print and have the updated way. And about the rules update, remember that we see also included the facts about the Helmisths of Hashut, and there will be some things that are quite interesting. Anyway, remember that soon I'll bring up also the review about the Battletome itself, that it will not include generally talking about these facts. Still, it will be more about the background, so it will be quite interesting. Anyway, let's go to see about these facts. Because the most part of the rules are the same, I'll jump to the part that has been changed, so let's go. Essentially, we have something new about the core rules. So we can start with this, that it's about the object control. So change the first sentence to in the deployment phase, after all deployment phase abilities have been used, and at the end of each turn, follow the sequence for each objective in order chosen by the active player. Sincerely, it doesn't change much. It's some rephrasing and so on, but okay, good as will come. And also a new fact about the core rules. So this is about, can I make a shooting attack with a weapon with the shoot in combat weapon ability if the unit using that weapon is in combat and that unit or the target of that shooting attack is affected by an ability such as the Total Arcane, Prophecy or Shelter, effect of the Scourge of Giran, Ketusa the Conceal, Blood Rituals ability, which has an effect that results in the weapon abilities other than the companion having no effect, and say, no, okay, it's like it should be. So it's something that you understand. It's simply like this. It's simply a fact that they certify that it doesn't work. Simply it. And I have something new about the General Handbook 2526. The first one is about the garrisoning. So here, change the first and second sentence of the second paragraph to garrison terrain feature can use abilities and be affected by enemy abilities, but they cannot be affected by friendly abilities other than core abilities. Abilities on their war scroll and abilities that specifically affect terrain feature. So, okay, simply it's rephrasing about everything, so it's not a problem. Then we can continue. We can find another one that it's about banishing. This, sincerely, I think that it should not even need a update about the fact. Okay, so you cannot pick the same manifestation to be target of this ability more than once per turn, but it should be like this from the beginning, since it's the base rule about the dispelling. So it's okay. Better to avoid any misunderstanding, anyway, in this case. And then we have something related about the Battletome Path of the Fae. So it has been rephrased. It's better clear in the way that it's explained. So it's simply something that you have to see if you have some misunderstanding about and clarify. Simply it. And then some update about the faction pack that we've seen that's been the release about some updates, so it's not a problem. And then we have something about the Daughters of Cain. So we have about the Manifestation Lore that it changed a bit the effect. Okay. Remember that here you have to see if there is something that you're interested about, because otherwise it would be problematic. Then we can find this that it's about the Illuminated Hero Lord that see a little change about the effect of the protection of Shaish. Okay, you take note about if you are interested about the Illuminate here. And then we can continue. As you can see, the most part of these are all exactly the same. So it's not a problem. So as again, here we have some update about the Sivanet, a little update about the overgrown wilderness. Are always the same things that need a little adjustment. They are always the same at the end. Okay, and then we can see that it's practically the same also about the faction part, also about the other digitals. Really, it's not changed quite a lot here, almost nothing, but there are still some things that you have to pay attention about the normal ones of the Battletome. For example, about the Blades of Corns, about the Flesheater, okay, that you can't give priests any ritual points in this phase, and about Path to Glory. There's been a little change about a lot of this Battletome for the Path to Glory. There are some adjustments, but I think that it's also about the developing of the rules, so it's okay, in my opinion. Then there is the part about the frequently asked question here that could be interesting if you are going to play. So here, for example, there is about the ability for the Blade of Corn battle trait, Blood Drenched, that can have a not effect because it's a unit of the Regiment Unknown, and it's perfectly understandable if you combine the rules. So anyway, not a problem. And so the same, it's related about a problem about this if it's referred about Scarbrand. So again, something that you need if you are going to play with such things, because you can be quite interesting. And then something about the Flesheater course. Here about the Path to Glory Anvils of Apotheosis for the ones that use, and really it's fun to play with. And then something related about the Army of Renown deck Knight of the new summer card for the ability in the Shire Shadow. And here, okay, technically is the same, but has been completely rephrased, and sincerely now it's more understandable. Before it was understandable but a bit messy. Now much better. So okay, sincerely I like this, and it's really exactly the same. And here there is another thing that it's only if you are going against the Magothi of Nargos. So if the Magothi of Nargos is picked as target for the Ocean Glimpse of Delusion ability, and resolving that ability result in a model of in that unit being slain, would that trigger the vectors of contagion ability on that Magothi of Nargos unit? And say no. So if you are going against Nagin from the Magothi of Nargos, you have to remember about this fact. It's really specific, as you can see. And then about the Grunspike kits, that see something related about the spearhead, that it's a little change, okay, about the working of the rule, the timing. And then nothing else here. About the Helmiths of Hashut, we can see a lot of change parts. Here for the most part are little clarifying. The real thing that you have to pay attention, it's about the part of the Ashen Smog, that it's really quite important to understand a bit better how it works, but it was understandable also before. About the Artifact Power School of Petrification, because it was a bit messy, I sincerely think. So here, much better. The part to add the shooting combat for the ability of the weapon for the hard demon fire for the demosmith, well, welcome, sincerely. Adjustment about the rules for the Demonator and Jungle Immolation cannons, that it's better understandable in this way. So again, something interesting. Then sincerely something that it was okay, and it was missing. Sincerely, I don't like such thing because it means that there's not been quite a great review about the book. Anyway, you had to add the standard builder for the Infernal Court with the Hashutite Blades and for the Hashutite Spears. Then a little adjustment for the Path to Glory Anvil of Apotheosis, okay. And here about the Army of Renown Ziggurat Stampede, change the second bullet point in the Burn to Ash in if the target is faction turn until the start of your next turn. Abilities on that turn future war score have no effect. Sincerely, much better understandable. Okay, nice. Then about the Army of Renown Ziggurat Stampede again, and here that's a little rephrasing. But what it's most interesting about is the part about the Lava Storm for the Army of Renown Tars Grand Forge Host. And here it's okay, simply specifying it's better. I think that it doesn't need it, but much better that is specified. What was needed for sure, it's a part about the Regiment Unknown Seeker of the Dead Ridge, because this was a mess how it was written, really a mess, because it was referred about having Desolation tokens that it was not usable at all, it was not generating, not compatible in demonic power points at all. So it was really what I'm going to do with this, and this was needing. So okay, and remember that anyway I'll publish also my review about the Helmisths of Hashut Battletome in the future, so pay attention. Then we have a fact about when annexing demonic power. When demonic power points are removed from units, are they taken or to be reallocated to friendly units, or are they lost? I say that are they lost. So okay, sincerely it was needed some adjustment here to perfect. Okay, so not bad at all. And then we have something about the current overload, about the Arcanaut company, so the timing change, and about the part of the Zontari Hendrik doc. Okay, sincerely could be nice. Sincerely, I don't know the rules of this, so okay, as bet you to read. And also again about the out and dying, and something again about the path to glory and the apotheosis. As I said, this it's mainly about some adjustment of the apotheosis, so not bad. And also something related about the Skurjogiran version of the Grandstock Greenholders, so okay, that can be target. And something related about also the Night Hound. Okay, again, the Path to Glory, two things, so about the Anvils of Apotheosis, and one related about the Spearhead. So if you are going to play the Spearhead, it's again the timing. As you can see, it's a little adjustment about the progressing. So about the timing, about the Path to Glory for the most part of the things that has changed. And then about the horrible class, finally nothing to, and it's strange because this has been updated quite often. Then about the Skaven, as you can see, and again about the Slave to Darkness, there is something that it's related about the Regiment of Renown, the Good Market Ascendant. Okay, you take note. No facts change about the Slave to Darkness. Then about the Super Keywords, that see a change, and it's important one about the Necromancer, because change the effect of the banner dance macabre. And you ask, but it's exactly the same. Yes, but it's missing one important thing. Roll a dice. It's miss the part roll a 3+ to activate this ability. So it means that now it's automatic. Quite a great change. Really, quite a great change. It completely changed the way that you can play the Necromancer. If before was yet okay, now it's okay. You are really going to play with if you are going to play the Deadwalker. So it's quite important about this. And then about the Battletome Stormcast Eternals here, that doesn't have any change again. Path to Glory, Ravage Ghost, that I see a little change also here. So little things, as you can see. The most important thing, I think that it's the one related about the Flesheater course that has seen, I can say, adjustments, better understandable that rule. The part about the Helmiths of Hashut that I think that needed, and the things that has been changed, sincerely, I think that need someone that before to publish the things, because are simple things that you could understand if you simply read what it's in the Battletome, because that part about the dash was not something that should be present, and the missing part is simply someone that has not done its work, because this part it was related about missing the standard, how many there are and so on. I can understand, but at the same time it seemed that really you not verified what you are going to publish. A pity, because the Battletome Helmisths of Hashut, I can say you that it's wow, really quite beautiful. So okay, at least has been seen some adjustment and it's much better now. So not bad. And I'm quite curious to know about your thoughts about these facts. Has been useful for you? Was you waiting for it? Also, because you can see that has not been released new points. So it's really quite interesting. Okay, there is soon an event that it's about the Warhammer World Championship that mainly it will not go to bring a lot of change about the points to forget about having to redo all the playlist and so on. Okay, I understand. Still nice that has been quite stable about and not bad, sincerely. So from deynonmod it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.